Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Today we're going to make this beautiful wreath made by Wreath Designs by Diana on Facebook. She designed this wreath using different techniques and she likes to call it her hybrid flower. So that's what we're going to call it, the hybrid flower. Take a little bit of my petals, take a little bit of Dean Michael Designs petal, and you have a hybrid flower. So what I want you to do is check out her Facebook page. She sells her wreaths there, and give her a follow and let her know how much we appreciate her sharing her ideas with us. Let's get started. Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. We are going to get started on this wreath. Like I said in the intro to this video, this is a design by Wreath Designs by Diana. Diana contacted me. She follows me here on YouTube and on Facebook. And if you can hear my elephants, we're just going to pretend they're not there. If you know who my elephants are, let me know in the comments. And we're going to do her hybrid flower, okay? And she calls it the hybrid flower because she uses a little bit of my fused method. She uses the Dean Michael Designs daisy petal, and she uses my sunflower, kind of like my single petal, or just a single layer petal, I think is what I call it. And she puts it all together in a great way. She uses the new arched Dollar Tree, the new 10-inch wreath frames. They're a little bit higher in depth than the other ones I usually work with. You can find these at the Wreath Shop and Trendy Tree. I will leave links for these specifically in the description box below. If you ever have a wonder, Julie, what's the description box? Well, if you're on the computer, you're going to see 3 dots and you're going to go down, or you're just going to scroll up and you're going to see all my information. If you're on your phone, you're going to see an arrow going down and you're going to click on that. So we're going to use this 10-inch frame. We're going to use some plastic canvas. This is stuff I use every single video almost. We're going to just take this frame. I'm going to take my little marker here. I'm going to outline this circle here. I'm going to attach that on the top of this frame and with zip ties. So that's what we're going to use for that. What we're going to do is we are going to use these 3 different meshes. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, Julie, I can't find this in stock, I do know that the Wreath Shop at this point does have the turquoise and they do have the black and white. Now, by the time this video hits and people watch it, they tend to order. And so if you want this mesh, you need to order it today. You need to order it now, okay? And keep checking with Trendy Tree and see what they have, because they may have some similar products as well. The black seems to be a little bit harder to find. So this is what I'm going to tell you to do. If you have like a black fabric mesh here, if you have something in your stock, use that. It doesn't have to be the same as poly burlap. It can be a deco mesh. Maybe you need to fuse 2 pieces together and make it a thicker, not a see-through piece of a petal, but just make it work. Use another color if you want. Use turquoise on the outside of your rim of this wreath as well if you want to do that. So let's get started, and the first thing we're going to talk about or do is how are we going to cut all this mesh, because we're going to do it two different ways. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to fuse our black and white and our turquoise, and we are going to make sure that we have, I believe we need 10 of those petals. So what we're going to do is we are just going to simply go through here, and we are going to, I've already started the process. Now, if you've seen other videos where I've used this mesh, I've used a rotary cutter. And the reason why I have is this is a little bit more difficult to use a wood burner. It's not impossible, but it's a little bit more time consuming. So what are you going to need? You're going to need a wood burner, okay? I use the chisel tip there. You can see what I use. I have a rotary cutter mat. I have my glass cutting board because we cannot cut on the rotary mat, okay? And all of my tools, and I even can find mesh on Amazon. I have an Amazon affiliate shop. The link is down below. You can always Google Julie's Wreath Boutique Amazon shop and it'll come up. So anyways, we're going to cut these at 10 inches a piece, and I'm going to kind of demonstrate how it is a little bit more difficult to cut, but not impossible to cut. There is a difference. Now I've already cut like 9 pieces, And you can see how it's fused together there, okay? It just kind of melts it together. It's really important that you wear a mask, so make sure that you take the precautions that you need to take. I'm going to just start at the top here. The black and white mesh here is a little bit bigger than the poly burlap, okay? It's actually 10.5 inches wide, whereas the poly burlap is 10 inches wide. And so the big frustration for me when cutting this is the white part right here. All right, so I'm going to go through here. Oh my goodness, I cut it all the way through. Usually it doesn't do that. I usually have to kind of go back and cut again, okay? So if you have to go back and run your wood burner through each spot, that was normal. That's how I cut all of this mesh. I had to go through it, okay? So the second thing you're going to do is, I'm going to put this to the side. You're going to get out your black poly burlap. Now, in a previous video, I showed you guys how to do a double fuse method for the Dean Michael design petal, okay? So basically we have this side fused, and I know some of you ended up doing this and you even fused this side. I am not taking that step, and there's a really good reason why, okay? And we'll get to that. But what I do is I take my mesh, and you don't have to do it this way. You can simply cut this at 10 inches and do the same method without fusing the second spot. So you're just going to cut your mesh, okay? I'm going to cut it at roughly 11 inches, okay? 11 inches, 10.5 to 11 inches is really important. So you cut it once, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to make sure that my finished edge is on this side, and now my other finished edge is underneath here. Now it's a little bit harder for you to see because I'm using black. I'm going to take the extra step, and I'm going to cut this side, and I'm going to fuse it together so that when we go to make our petal, the side that's going to be laying against the door and get the friction is going to have a fused petal, okay? So at that point, we have a fused side here, see? You can see that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have 15 of these petals, okay? And then I'm going to cut just the normal way that I cut the poly burlap. I need to see. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to break this free, and it's pretty stuck. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to cut, I believe, about 8 pieces here of the poly burlap for the very center. So I'm just going to cut a nice straight line in between the pieces, you know, the line that the poly burlap naturally has. And I'm just going to cut it at 10 inches. So I'm going to cut about 8 of these. I might cut 9. Sometimes I need a little extra. So we're doing the best we can with Diana's design here. But let's get started on the petal process. Well, I moved on and I forgot that I needed 5 of these cut. Now, you could use the wood burner. I did use the wood burner just singly. I didn't like the finish she gave me. So I got out my my rotary cutter, guys. I'm so used to saying wood burner. And because this is 10.5 inches long, I'm going to cut this at 10.5 inches wide, okay? So I've got this measured out here, and I'm just going to take my rotary cutter, and I'm going to do my best to stay in between the line so that we'll have less fraying, okay? So that's what you're going to need. You're going to need 5 of these. So let's get this started and putting it together. What are we going to do first? Okay, so the first step on this wreath is we're going to do the Dean Michael Daisy petal. And I've already put my plastic canvas mesh, I told you at the beginning of the video, to attach it with your zip ties. I did that already. And we are going to put the first layer of petals in between bar 1, but we're going to attach it to bar 2, but we're going to put the petal underneath. Just because we have so much room here, why not use it, okay? So take your petal, make sure it's not sticking to each other, and you're going to take your long side, and I always like to flip this one piece under, just the way I like to do it, and you're going to gather it, all right? And then I flip that end under as well. All right, so there's your Dean Michael Daisy petal. So what I want to do is I'm not going to worry about that cross bracket, okay? So I'm going to just kind of stick it underneath there. Going to take a zip tie, and I'm going to go underneath. You could use black zip ties too, because you're using black poly burlap, by the way, but I really like these zip ties. I do get them from the Wreath shop and at Amazon, and I do believe Trendy Tree is carrying them as well, and they're just really easy to use and easy and simple for my hands. Now, if the first petal goes a little sideways, I take another zip tie. I'll go on the other side here, and we'll create an X. And what that will do is anytime you're working with a petal with a wire wreath frame, which I prefer a wire wreath frame, it's more economical, and honestly, your customer, if you sell these wreaths, doesn't care what you make your wreath on, okay? And so this is a nice, strong wreath frame, and you can literally hang it from any point of this wreath frame. So this is why I use these. I really like them. So now we're going to do this 3 in each of these sections. I'm going to just take one more and I'll show you, and then I'll finish it up. And we'll go to the next spot here. Just turn that under. All right. I'm going to go underneath here. And again, if you want to add another zip tie, you can. I don't really think I need it now. I kind of feel like that first one kind of starts me off and I'm good to go. So I like the way that this looks. Now, on this side of the petal where it's a little unfinished because we didn't do the method we did over here, we're going to keep that underneath the petal so that the petal that's laying on the door is the fused side, okay? Now, I do think I might actually add another one. Oops, we're making a mess here. Just because it's flopping a little bit, and that's okay. It's not really necessary. It's not going to go anywhere. But I'm just going to add another one, and I feel better about it. There we go. So what are we going to do? I'm going to add 3 the same way here on every section. So 3 per section, and that gives us 15. So I will be right back. Okay, so we're going to go to the next step, and I do want to tell you that the diameter of this wreath should be about 22 inches in diameter, maybe 22 and a half. So it just depends on how far you put in your petals here, okay? As you can see, there are a few spots where I did double up on my zip ties. I didn't do them on every one of them, and you may not even need to do that. It's really a preference thing. So now we're going to take our single cut petals here that we cut with the rotary cutter, and we are going to do the 5 raised arched brackets here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lay one right underneath there, okay? It's already there, ready to go. So how are we going to fold this petal? We're going to make sure that our finished side is at the bottom, and at the top I'm going to meet them at the middle, and then I'm going to just gather, okay? I'm going to flip it over and just make that petal, okay? That's my single fold petal or something to that effect. I know I have a name. I need to go look it up. I do have a petal video that I will leave in the description box below. It goes all over all the different petal techniques, my fused petal techniques, my lollipop petal, let's see, all kinds of petals, a peekaboo petal, a lot of different ways to make a flower wreath. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep putting them on each of these arched frames here, and then I will be back for the next step. Okay, so we have those petals. Now we're going to go back to the Dean Michael Daisy petal design, and we are going to use our fused mesh. Now you might be saying, Julie, why are you using that? Because when Diana made her wreath, she wanted the color to kind of pop through underneath the mesh, okay? And it just kind of brings another dimension to this wreath. Now, because this is one size is 10 inches and one is 10 and a half, we have a little bit of an overage. That's okay. It's not going to be a big deal. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take and finish sides on the right and on the left, and I'm going to just go over top here. Really, you don't have to do finished sides on the right or left. You could do it either way, but just be consistent on whichever way that you do. So I'm going to just kind of take my little end here, and I just like to fold them under a little bit. Okay, now this is a much thicker petal. This has some volume to it, okay? So just gonna kind of hold it on, and if it's easier for you to zip tie this before you put it on your frame, go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So we've got bar 1, which is covered, bar 2, and bar 3. So we're gonna do it 2 petals in between each of these, black and white check petals. Julie, it's a little late tonight, and I'm videoing this, so I'm a little tired. But if you like to make wreaths, if you like to craft, we would love to have you join our Wreath Creators and More group on Facebook. And that link is down in the description box below. And something else that's below is my email list. I would love to have you join me on my email list, because I like to send out emails, talk about, you know, wreath concepts and different videos that I have. Now, if you click on that link, I do believe you have to click on it to say that you want it, and then you have to verify your email, okay? So they want people who want to be on that list, okay? So I'm gonna put another one right here. Just gonna add my zip tie. I'm just gonna lay it right there. Going to go over and make my petal here. And I appreciate Diana sharing her design here with us. Make sure you go to her Facebook page and follow and like. And you know what? If you want to order a wreath, she takes orders through her Facebook page. So make sure you contact her. You know, a lot of people sell their wreaths on Facebook now. It's not just Etsy. It's not just a website. They do sell them on Facebook. Facebook lets that happen. So make sure you give her some love and thank her for sharing her design. She has done these, I believe, in yellow and lavender and pink, and they're really, really cute. And I think they're very fun. So we're gonna just keep doing this. Let's see here. I'm gonna put another one right here. If it's April and this is still out, let me think here. I think this video should be out and it should be April. I have my premium tutorials on sale right now, guys, for the month of April. And if you want to get like the Christmas tree tutorial and get to join that private group, the Christmas tree tutorial comes with the angel wings tutorial as well. That's a very popular one for me. And then there's the flower trio, there's the apple blossom and marigold. Designs that you're not going to find here on Facebook, on YouTube. So I would love to have you check those out. They're in the description box below. So I'm just going to keep going here. Remember, 2 in each section, and we'll be on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to do the final layer of petals. So all together, we do have 4 layers. One is just 5 petals. And now we're going to take the single layer of the poly burlap. Now, the way that I cut the black, you could cut the poly burlap in the turquoise that way. I just kind of forgot to do that, guys. I just cut it and I thought, oh, I should have cut it this way, but I didn't, and it's okay. So this is, if you don't want to do that double fuse technique here, we're going to just take our squares. We're going to make a triangle, okay? And let me make sure this is, yeah, this one, I cut this one a little bit over the 10 inches. So it's giving me a little bit of a hard time, but that's okay. We'll work with it. So we're just going to make our triangle here. I'm going to fold under that one side here. And then we're going to just kind of fold that under too. All right, so there's our petal. That's that Dean Michael design petals. And you know what I should have done? I should have put a thing in it. Hold on just a sec. So I'm just going to use my chip clip. I love chip clips from Dollar Tree, and I'm an affiliate for Dollar Tree. Did you know that you can order things from Dollar Tree now and you don't have to order a case? So you can check out that link in the description box below, but I love these things. We use them for chips and for crafting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, now we're just going to kind of start about, an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, if that's a better guesstimate, I guess I should say. I'm going to take my petal here and we're just going to place it down in that zip tie. Let me move it more center for the camera here. Sometimes I forget and I'm a little off centered and I do my videos. I'm like, Julie, why didn't you pay attention? Oh well, we live and we learn, right? So I'm going to put another one a few squares over, and we're just going to fill this up. Now I think we're going to use seven to 9 petals. It really depends on how many that you want to put in and how you put your petals together. Sometimes I use more on an order, and then sometimes I use less. So it's really up to you, okay? And how it all flows. But the center of this wreath, we can do a couple of things. We can do a center like I did in, I want to say my video that, oh goodness, what video was that? Oh goodness, my American flag. I did an American flag flower, and I did the center in white, but instead of using white, you could use black, and that's what Diana used. She used a black cording, and I believe that she made it very similar to how I did that in the flag video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that center, but I'm not going to make you sit here and watch that center. I want you, if you want to make the center that I'm going to have next, you're going to go to the American flag video, and you're going to go to the timestamp or whatever I put in the description box below. Okay, and then I'm going to also show you another center you can use if you want it to be, I don't know, more convenient, maybe a little bit more color too. So that way we're going to have it done, and then you can just kind of decide whether you want to go watch that video, which a lot of people have been watching, by the way. It's a great tutorial and a wonderful way to show your patriotism. And it really, if you're in a different country, you could just use your country's colors. So anyway, so here, this one's being a little persnickety on me here. So I'm just going to keep going around until I have this all filled with the daisy petal. Okay, so we have our center petals. This gives a more voluminous wreath. I want to make sure I say that right. And it's beautiful. You could do this with yellow. You could use it with, I think this would be pretty with like a hot pink color, a fuchsia, an orange, any color you want to use. Try it. I think it looks really nice with the poly burlap and this check mesh that we use. So what are we going to do for the center? Now, Diana uses the black method like this. This is the method that I talked about, how if you click on the link in the description box below for the American flag flower, I showed you how to make this with white roping. Now, this is black roping. I got it at Hobby Lobby. We use a Dollar Tree foam and some wire and some felt and glue. I use the Gorilla Glue sticks, okay? So basically, we could do this. We could put this down and we could have it the black, okay? And we're going to take a picture of it like that. Now, what are some other options? Now, if you have any of these yellow pre-made centers, you can find these at Trendy Tree and the Wreath Shop when they are in stock. I don't know if they're in stock right now, but, check. I will try to find links for you. These are about 7.5 inches in diameter. I think this yellow would be really pretty, guys. I feel like it would give it a nice pop of color. I will get a picture with this center and the wreath. So I just want to kind of show you that. So let me know in the comments, do you like the yellow? Do you like the black? And then I have one more. Now, I was looking over to the side of my table, and I had made this center in another wreath tutorial. It was another patriotic flower, and this is just using Dollar Tree roping and a sphere of the foam cut in half. So that is another. So again, you can make this different by just changing the center. So say you wanted to have this, but you wanted a more fall look, you could use this. You could use that for a more summer look, and then you could use this for a more winter look if you want. It's really up to you. So let me know in the comments. I know I always ask you for an emoji. So in the comments, this is the question I'm going to ask you. Which center? Black, yellow, or the rope? Okay, or the natural center. So I'm going to just kind of leave this. Basically, all we're going to do is we're going to just take our wire and we're going to run it through that center canvas. And we're just going to anchor it down And we're gonna take some of these. I got a little bit of that yellow on. And then you're gonna flip it over and you're just going to and get it nice and secure. And then I clip these and I put them back into my canvas. I'm not gonna do it too tightly because like I said, I'm gonna take pictures with the different sensors in here and get you guys' opinion on social media. Then I take a piece of felt that I cut out in a 10-inch diameter wreath, and I'm going to attach it to the wreath form with zip ties. And then you're gonna hang it from the bar itself. Now, if you get a piece and you get felt on it, I take these little lint brushes and I go over like the cording and it takes care of it just fine. So, number one, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking your time to share it with me here on YouTube. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Thank you so much, Diana, from Wreath Designs by Diana on Facebook. Her link is going to be in the description box. Give her some love. Thank her for sharing her idea with us. This is the hybrid flower. So it's got a little bit of everything in here. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will watch next time. Make sure to click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And until next time, we will see you later. Bye-bye.